This is Nimbus, Yosh, aka the People's Champion, coming at y'all with another mental mastery loadout video, how to up your controller's game. Now, this time, got my little white suit on, kind of switch things up. I kind of like doing that, kind of like changing my outfit every so often, put it in the laundry, do what it do. But let's go ahead over to our sparring chat and talk about what's going on with the loadout. Now, on my loadout this time, I have Terra Tendrils. Like I said last time, Terra Tendrils is going to be your POT. You want to keep that POT up every 10 to 13 seconds. Let's go ahead and fire it off, show you what it looks like. Little balls of hentai that just flow around. Now, if you notice, the sparring Chav right now is terrorized. He doesn't know what's going on. He's upset. He's hurt. He's seeing visions of his most powerful enemy in his head, which just so happens to be you, hopefully. So that's how that works. Now, the next part on my bar is going to be Phantom Flames. Phantom Flames is your defense debuff. Now, if you remember from last time, the defense debuff, when you fire it off and you hit him, it's going to have that little red shield under where it says sparring target or the sparring channel. The little red shield shows that his defense is low. Alright? That's good for the DPSs because then they can go ham and do extra damage on your target. Next, we're going to skip Terrorize for now. And no, we're going to go Terrorize. Terrorize is going to be your damage debuff. Yeah, your damage debuff. So, fire up Terrorize, blam. If you notice, under the sparring target, and he's running around because it adds Terrorize, if you notice under the sparring target, fire again, you're going to have that red target. That means that he's going to be doing less damage. Well, this sparring Chav isn't going to do any damage because he's too busy running around. Next, we have, what is this called? Horrific Visage. Now, in PvE, Horrific Visage is kinda okay. The cooldown time is a little weird. You can substitute that with Pyrokinesis if you like, if you need a healer debuff. So, you fire it off, bam. Alright? Doesn't seem like it does much because it kinda has a low effect ratio, but what it does is it adds that healer debuff that you need. Again, if you saw part 1, you'll know that it's the red heart under the sparring target. Oh, that time you turn into it, and look at this little ugly thing. Oh, he just broke out. Oh, we get back to area. Alright, now when he turns into the monster, what happens with that is he affects all of his little friends around him, and sometimes his friends turn into monsters. It's really good for crowd control, but like I said, it doesn't really have a high effect ratio, so I personally don't use it that often. Next we have Grandeur. Again, 101 uses. Somebody goes down, you fall flat on your butt, whatever, you hit that Grandeur, gets the haters off. That's the number one thing with Grandeur is it gets the haters off you. Alright? It gives you it gives a little bit of time. I want to say about 0.5 to 1 seconds of immunity. It suppresses dots. It's a great move, and as a controller, this should never leave your bar at all, ever. Get it out your head that you have anything better to put on your bar in case of Grandeur, because Grandeur is probably the most important move you're gonna have on your bar. All right. And then last but not least, you have your power heal, which is psychic empowerment. Just like I said in the previous video, it's going to be your power heal. You want to make sure your healer's power heal, you want to make sure your tank's power heal, and you want to make sure that your other controller definitely has at least a little bit of power so they can throw out that POT if they need to throw out POT. Also, you want to keep your DPSs healed, but your DPSs aren't going to be as important as your other support roles, because those support roles is what's going to keep everybody alive. And when everybody's alive, then the DPSs can do what they do. Alright? Now, the reason that I have this set out the way it is, when you fire off the Terra Tendrils, it interacts with the Phantom Flames. You do extra damage when your target is terrified. Now he has the Phantom Flames on him. He thinks he's on fire. He's not really on fire, but he thinks he's on fire, and that's what's most important. Because when he thinks he's on fire, his defense goes down. Okay? Fire this off, then fire that back off. And I was trying to put the flames out. You know, his defenses are down, his guards down. The DPSs can go in and do what they do. Alright? Also, once he's about 35%, you hit him with the terrorize, blam. You're gonna do that little extra damage. Not gonna do as much damage as the DPSs, but it's gonna do that extra damage to him. And in a pinch, when your enemy has just a little bit of power left, that's what you want to put on. Alright? Now, it doesn't really interact that much with the horrific visage, but hit him with the Terra Tendrils, fire off the horrific visage, and for some reason it didn't stick that time, but it usually does. I don't know what's going on today, but the horrific visage sticks on him, lowers his ability to heal. In PvP, however, it doesn't turn him into the little monster. Instead, it grounds the target and it takes away the healer's power over time, which is big because that means that the healer isn't going to do as much healing, and you want everybody to go down on that other team. That's the point of PvP. Alright? And again, grandeur, power heal, you want to keep those on your bar, and that's how you do what it do. Now, you probably noticed in the previous video, I didn't put any supercharges on the bar. That's because this is your normal controller loadout, not dealing with the supercharges, keeping your supercharge bar at its highest to do extra damage. However, if you want to go ahead and put the supercharges on your bar, I recommend Bastion. Alright? We're going to actually show you what Bastion looks like. So go ahead here, switch up the loadout, control, and we're going to replace horrific visage. Actually, before we even do that, if you really don't like horrific visage, you can switch that up with pyrokinesis. Okay, pyrokinesis, in my opinion, is a lot better healer debuff. You know, it puts the target actually on fire. And remember, always remember, you want to throw pyrokinesis before Phantom Flames to make sure that you're getting both ticks. Now, he kind of canceled it because, you know, he's a sparring champ and sometimes he does that. But you want to keep the pyrokinesis, then the Phantom Flames, because as you can see, both of them are going to pop at the same time. As well as, take this off, as well as, you saw it up there, you know, put the damage and the healing debuff on them. It's a beautiful thing. So let's go back and go to the loadout, go to control, and we're going to switch out pyrokinesis for Bastion. Bastion, 50% supercharge, protects yourself and 7 other group members from incoming damage, and it restores power over time. It's kind of like Word of Power, but it doesn't have as long of a cast time, and it's specifically made for mentals. It's beautiful. We're going to show you what it looked like. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and waste a bunch of power real quick. Fire everything off. Sparring Chad doesn't know what's going on right now. He's really hating life. He really doesn't like me right now. So fuck him. And then after that, fire off your Bastion. And now you have the Shield of Justice, or the Shield of Evil if you're a villain, which I don't recommend. And gives you that real quick power over time. Takes about half your supercharge off, but gives you that power over time when you're in Nexus, when you're in Paradox, and everybody's real low, and your soda's down, and your trinkets ain't off a cooldown yet. You fire off your Bastion, gets everybody right back up doing what it's supposed to do. So, hopefully these loadout videos have helped you out, up your game with your controlling. Because if you do this, if as long as you make sure that your POT is on once every 10 to 13 seconds, you'll learn it in your head how long a POT lasts. As long as your power heal is still moving and still grooving, you're gonna do okay. And a little extra tip and trick: you can animation clip out of just about anything with psychic empowerment. Let me show you. Fire off. I'm gonna do like I showed with the first video with the loadouts. I have my trusty Rusty Lucille with me. Fire off Lucille, power heal. Excuse me, fire off Lucille, Terra Tendrils, and then you're gonna power heal after that. It's gonna look like this. Doesn't really look like I did much, but I fired off just about 3 things at once. So let's do it again. All that extra juju stuff, the psychic empowerment, it's basically an animation clip wonder. You can clip just about anything with it. Only thing you really can't clip is your terrorize. I hate that, but it is what it is. So a little bit of extra tip for y'all, and that's about it. Thanks for choosing the People's Champ channel for all your controlling needs. This is Nimbus Yosh, aka the People's Champ of TGN, reminding you to be cool, stay safe, keep your POT up every 10 to 13 seconds, goddammit. Mind your butter, and holla back at your boy, Percy. Whoo! Now get off my back about doing loadout videos, goddammit. Now you learn. Now you learn.